Article 225.30 of the National Electrical Code, or NEC, pertains to the number of services allowed for buildings or structures on the same property. However, its application is specific. Article 225.30 addresses situations where there is more than one building or structure on the same property. In such cases, each building or structure must be provided with at least one service. The Code also permits a single service to supply any number of buildings or structures on a property, provided that the service conductors are of sufficient capacity to serve all the buildings or structures. It is important to distinguish between services and feeders. A service is the electrical supply to a building or structure from the utility company source. Feeders, on the other hand, are conductors that originate from the service equipment and supply power to one or more branch circuits. In the context of a single building, Article 225.30 does not limit the number of feeders that can be used. The primary focus of Article 225.30 is to regulate the number of services when multiple buildings or structures are present on a single property. Therefore, in a scenario involving only one building, the number of feeders is not restricted by this particular code section. The question of how many feeders a single occupancy can have within a single building is not directly addressed by Article 225.30. Instead, other factors than code articles come into play. Firstly, the overall load calculation for the occupancy must be determined. This calculation takes into account the various electrical demands of the occupancy, including lighting, receptacles, appliances, and any other electrical equipment. Secondly, the capacity of the service equipment must be sufficient to handle the total calculated load. The service equipment includes the main disconnect, overcurrent protection devices, and other components that connect the building's electrical system to the utility service. Thirdly, the size and number of feeders must be adequate to carry the load to the various distribution points within the building. This involves considering the ampacity of the conductors, the voltage drop, and other factors that affect the performance of the electrical system. Fourthly, the design and installation of the feeders must comply with other applicable NEC articles, such as those relating to conductor sizing, overcurrent protection, grounding, and wiring methods. Factors such as conductor size and overcurrent protection must be considered to ensure the safety and reliability of the electrical system. Conductor ampacity is determined by factors such as the conductor material, insulation type, and installation conditions. Overcurrent protection is provided by circuit breakers or fuses, which are designed to protect the conductors and equipment from overloads and short circuits. Grounding is essential for providing a safe path for fault currents to return to the source, reducing the risk of electric shock. Wiring methods must comply with the NEC requirements for the type of occupancy, the environment, and the voltage level. The NEC provides tables and guidelines for determining the appropriate conductor size for various ampacities. For example, Table 310.16 of the NEC provides ampacity ratings for conductors based on their insulation type and installation conditions. Voltage drop is another important consideration in feeder design. Excessive voltage drop can cause equipment to malfunction or operate inefficiently. The NEC recommends limiting voltage drop to a maximum of 3% for feeders and 5% for branch circuits. There are several factors that determine the number of feeders in a building. These are, firstly, load distribution. If the electrical load is concentrated in one area of the building, a single feeder may be sufficient. However, if the load is distributed throughout the building, multiple feeders may be necessary to avoid excessive voltage drop and to provide adequate capacity to each area. Secondly, the size of the building. Larger buildings typically require more feeders than smaller buildings due to the increased load and the greater distances involved. Thirdly, the type of occupancy. Different types of occupancies have different electrical demands. For example, a commercial building with heavy machinery may require more feeders than a residential building. Fourthly, future expansion. It is often wise to design the electrical system with future expansion in mind. This may involve installing additional feeders or increasing the size of existing feeders to accommodate future loads. Fifthly, redundancy. In some critical applications, such as hospitals or data centers, it may be necessary to provide redundant feeders to ensure a continuous power supply. In summary, while Article 225.30 limits the number of services to a building or structure, it does not limit the number of feeders within a single building. The number of feeders is determined by the load calculation, the capacity of the service equipment, and the requirements of other applicable NEC articles.